Call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, July 21st, 6 p.m. If you would please rise for the invocation by Pastor Darrell. Thank you. Followed by the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we thank you today that we can gather today in service to this community. Lord, we recognize that leadership is an honor and a responsibility, and we ask for your wisdom to guide every decision made in this room. Your word reminds us that if anyone lacks wisdom, that we should ask of you and you give it generously. So today we ask for wisdom that is greater than our own opinions, patience, stronger than our own frustrations, and humility that allows us to listen before we speak. Help every commissioner to be guided by principles and wisdom. Lord, I pray that those in the audience today and those that wish to speak, Lord God, would just remember, Lord God, that you are in charge, that you are the one who provides the wisdom. You're the one that gives authority to those in charge. Lord, I pray that everything would be done in decency and in order. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Roll call, Madam City Clerk.
Commissioner Ayers,
Present.
Commissioner Marsati,
Present.
Commissioner Devine,
Here.
Commissioner McDonald,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Mayor Hatch, City Manager Ayala,
Here.
and Attorney Murphy.
Here. Thank you. First on the agenda is approval of our minutes for last July 7th meeting of the Board of Commissioners. And move in second, they be approved as distributed. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? I didn't hear anybody over here say anything. I have a employee of the quarter award to give away. It says, the city of Mulberry can achieve success without hardworking employees like this person. Thank you for all of your efforts and the care you show for your fellow coworkers every single day. Congratulations on being our employee of the quarter for April through June of 26, and it goes to Lauren Deschnell. You gotta get your picture taken. That's Stan 122. Here, this is the- You can take it if you want. No?
Thank you.
And I have another. This one says your dedication, professionalism, and positive attitude make a meaningful difference to the city of Mulberry and those you work alongside each day. Thank you for your commitment to serving our community and for the support and encouragement you constantly extend to your coworkers in recognition of your outstanding contributions. Congratulations on being named the city of Mulberry's employee of the quarter for April through June 2026. Also, this honor is well deserved. Kelsey Dickey. And they get little $100 gifts.
Thank you.
Okay. Whereas water industry professionals across the state of Florida dedicate themselves to the production and distribution of safe and reliable drinking water, as well as the proper collection, treatment, reuse, and environmentally responsible disposal of wastewater and stormwater. And whereas these highly trained professionals work tirelessly to protect your public health, safeguard Florida's resources, and ensure continued sustainability of our water systems. And whereas the individuals employed in the water and wastewater industry serve our communities every day by maintaining complex infrastructure systems that support homes, businesses, schools, and essential public services. And whereas Florida continues to take bold and innovative steps to lead the nation in water quality protection, environmental stewardship, and the conservation of our rivers, lakes, springs, and coastal waterways. And whereas the passage of Clean Waterways Act strengthened Florida's commitment to protecting water quality and minimizing nutrient pollution that threatens the health of our ecosystems and communities. Whereas Florida Statute Section 403.865 recognizes water and wastewater professionals as essential first responders, acknowledging their critical role in maintaining vital services during emergencies, national disasters, and times of crisis. And whereas Florida remains committed to protecting and conserving our waterways and natural resources so they may be preserved for future generations. And whereas it is fitting and appropriate that we recognize the dedication, expertise, and essential service of the professionals who operate and maintain Florida's drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater systems through the observance of Florida Water Professionals Month. Now therefore, George A. Chatz, Mayor of the City of Mulberry, together with the members of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim August 2026 as Florida Water Professionals Month in the City of Mulberry. Thank you. Who's going to take this to me, Jason? Okay. And then we go to Texas Public Works Utilities Department. You should have just stayed there.
Jason Cubic, Public Works Utility Director. Got a few pictures this month for the work we did in the past 30 days. Public Works, we had some tree branches fall down. On the second half, guys cut them up, disposal. This is the phosphate gallery air conditioner.
Thank you, David. Outreach engagement, Ms. Kevin.
Hi everyone, it's good to see you. Catherine Page, Studio 37, Outreach and Engagement. Last time I talked to you guys, I was doing my annual report, so I've got 2 months to catch you up on. So this is for May and June of 2026. So for May the 4th, we had a May the 4th Be With You activity for kids. Taryn and I dressed up. The library loaned us these cool blow-ups. We made lightsabers, we had droid races, we made Death Stars and Chewbacca puppets. We had a really good time. We also participated, HR always does a team building door decorating contest for the summer to celebrate the library's reading theme. This year the theme was the Great American Parade, and Taryn did an excellent job turning all of the city departments into the Great Mulberry Parade, so everyone got their own float. We had the wonderful honor of hosting Purcell Elementary's 5th grade sneaker ball dance. So it was the end of the year, the 5th graders were saying bye to everyone, and they got to have their dance at a special location here at the studio. So we got to kind of wild seeing 5th graders dance to the Spice Girls and some of the same music I think that was playing, you know, when I was a youth. We partnered with University of Florida and their IFAS department and presented a program on vegetable gardening, specifically in the summer. We brought seeds, they had sprouted sweet potatoes, all kinds of plants, where everyone, we had a great turnout for it, everyone that came left with something for their garden. We concluded our 8-week program of Tai Chi for fall prevention. So my participants that did this really committed. It was 2 times a week for an hour every time for 8 weeks, and they showed up to every single class. Speaking of summer, we launched our annual summer program for kids. It's on the Mondays while Polk County Public Schools is on break. In honor of America's 250th and the library's Great American Parade, we are doing a National Park adventure. So here's some of our projects we've done. We started off with the Great Smoky Mountains. We explored Mammoth National Cave in Kentucky. Then we did Acadia National Park. Zion National Park, we talked about volcanoes. Miss Taryn crafted from clay this wonderful volcano, and we did the baking soda vinegar explosion, and the kids were very into that. Yellowstone National Park, we did the Grand Prismatic Spring, and then also had a geyser with the Coke and Mentos, so that was another winner. All the kids kept going, pour it all in, pour it all in. Our Stitch Lab restarted. We got a new sewing teacher. Our original sewing teacher has had some health issues. I found another sewing instructor, so that has relaunched. We have beginning sessions once a month, so there are 4 classes for a beginner session, June, July, and I'm launching the one for August tomorrow. We hosted One Blood's Big Red Bus at Studio 37. We had 15, they sent a little recap email, and 15 lives were impacted by the donations from that day. To celebrate Flag Day and the 4th, we made button flags, and during that class, we had a reporter from the Lakeland Sun show up and had a nice little article in the Lakeland Sun the next week. So I have some copies of those at the studio if you want to check it out. Zumba also returned. Our Zumba instructor that had been with the city for a long time has retired from teaching, but she very kindly directed us to another instructor. So Liv is our new Zumba instructor. It's moved back to Tuesdays, and we might actually be adding a 2nd class to that soon. So upcoming, this Saturday, I've got a sound bath. It's at 9 o'clock. It's free. Bring a chair, bring a yoga mat, bring a blanket, join us. We are partnering with the Central Florida Puzzle Exchange for a free puzzle swap on August 29th. So you can bring puzzles to swap and share. Any leftover puzzles are going to get donated to the Mulberry Public Library. So we'll support them. And then we are partnering with IFAS again for reducing wildfire risk at home. So that will be an informative workshop, and you'll learn about how to landscape your yard to prevent wildfire risk. That's it for me. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you, Kevin.
Good evening, Commission. Good evening, audience. This is my annual annual report. I realize that I have the pleasure of presenting every month, so I will try not to be incredibly redundant, but I am very proud of the work that the team does, so I can make no promises. I did have an 18-slide limit though, so if you will follow along in the booklets that the commissioners have, sorry audience, I will do my best to describe, but we'll go through this together as quickly but appropriately as possible. So my department is split up into 4 buildings, let's call it that, or areas, but I want to make sure that I'm stressing it's not that each one is 25% of a job. I believe that my team does 400% of a job, and I think you'll see that as we go through. So we're going to start with the museum, the Mulberry Phosphate Museum, for those who maybe aren't familiar. It is very busy right now because we just got some new rock in, so if you are interested, go dig. Wanting to make sure that it's clear what the statement of purpose is for each division. For the museum, it's the Mulberry Phosphate Museum believes that through informative and interactive experiences, visitors can be not only educated, but enriched, resulting in a more well-rounded and prosperous community on both a local and far-reaching scale. The museum seeks to support this belief through programming, exhibits, and community events. I'm going to be going kind of quickly, hitting the highlights. When we get to the history, it is very much the same as history is as what last year was, but of course this year we continue to be focused on quality customer service. We're not the museum that says shh. We want you to have fun and dig and come in and show us the fossils you find, and also being economically viable programming. Almost exclusively all of our programming is free, as well as admission. When we look at by the numbers, we have 2,056 in gift shop sales, which was exceeding our projections, 26 rentals, 967 tour participants, 3,313 in donations, and 92 free programs, and that's just at the museum. If you'll take a look at our social media, we are up 82.8% on engagement. And we did have a large focus on Reels, which takes our comment numbers down a bit, but the engagement was still obviously far exceeded. Moving on to outreach. We have quite a few opportunities to get out. Not only do we want you to come to our facility, but we are telling the Mulberry story, and specifically for this area of the department, the history of it, and how, especially the fossil record, that you can come and have a unique experience. Not just unique for Polk County, but really unique for the United States. So this fossil record is so enriched that what you're digging on the dig pile, we don't see it, it just is that fossil heavy, which doesn't exist in other parts. We do have some outreach goals that I wanted to share with you moving into 2026. We will participate in 3 new out-of-city public events, strengthen relationships with local museums and informal learning institutions, participate in 2 out-of-county outreach events, so not just with out of the city, but also spreading it farther than that, and create an educational experience on site at each Mulberry school. I know not every school can make it to us, but we will make sure that every Mulberry school has a hands-on experience with us, whether that means we come to them or they come to us. I did want to, before moving on, in case you don't know, we have a continued partnership with Polk State College. We do have a lab that if they don't do an oceanography classes, they fail. So the staff is equipped to answer the questions of the lab. They're really great at it, but we do love having that young adults and adult partnership and seeing new faces come in that maybe otherwise wouldn't hear about us and sharing that story. Moving on, we had tours. We're at 1,000 people, and then we have our programming. So we had tours, collegiate labs. I know they're going fast. You don't have to read everything that's in there. You can do that later. New this year was Stingray Saturday. In our dig pile, you find shark's teeth, but also a lot of stingray fossils, and they're very cool to identify. So I will say Bonnie Carlson took the lead on making sure that we had activities, partnering with Lauren to help identify and also just learn the fantastic world of stingrays that I'm sure you wanted to know about. Rock and Learn is Earth Science STEAM Saturdays, STEM programming. Can You Dig It Hour continues to be very popular, where within a scheduled hour, if you find a tooth, you get a prize. That happens different hours throughout the year. Edible Science is a summer program where you can eat what you learn about. And then of course, Shark Week comes ashore. We're in it right now. I hope that everyone's as excited as I am. The fins are out. Thank you, Jason and his department. The lawn has some shark fins. That's why, because the sharks have come to us. But throughout the week, we have a lot of programming, and we did the same last year. So check that out, and we definitely did it last year. Magic School Bus at the Museum is a summer program that we did last year. Fossil Expedition, we partner with the National Park Service for National Fossil Day, so we're listed on the nation's website, so we get lots of eyes and attention from partnering with that. We do trek through the different parks. It is free, and when you complete all the challenges, you get a certificate, which of course is very meaningful to everyone. And during the holidays, Mrs. Claus's favorite museum is the Mulberry Phosphate Museum, as we all know, and we do lots of STEM projects in winter wonders. I know. Oh, wait, we'll go back. So we do have some goals that I want to share as far as programming. We want to create a history program for this. The nice thing about presenting in July of the year that comes after, some of this are already underway, but we want to create a history program for adults that encourages discussion and communal memory making. Increase free programs from 92 to 100, absolutely doable. Create a From the Archives series to highlight artifacts that are not currently on display. And partner with other local museums and informal learning institutions to create cross-promotional educational activities. All right, that's 25% of my presentation so far. Everyone still with me? Absolutely. We're going to go into the Cultural Center and talk a little bit about the differences and what we have going on there. So we have been open since 2015, and it's an exhibition and classroom space committed to promoting arts and culture in the city of Mulberry. Every year, the Mulberry Cultural Center hosts temporary exhibitions of various techniques, styles, and points of view, and the staff is dedicated to bringing quality exhibits that present what is great about the visual arts, a chance to tell people stories. When people ask me my elevator pitch on what the Cultural Center is, we're storytellers. We're telling people from all different walks of life. You're going to have something that you connect with at the Cultural Center. It might not be every single exhibit, but our goal is to make all audiences feel welcome. Outreach. This is where we're going out and promoting the mostly free activities that we have at the Cultural Center that promote arts and humanities, and also makes us have a seat at the table when it comes to Polk County's arts and culture sector. We don't want Mulberry to not be part of that, because we absolutely are. In fact, I think we are a large part of it and something to be proud of. But if we're not speaking it to them, they won't know. We also partner with the Polk County School Board, Lakeland Arts Association, Art Crawl, Art to Art Guild, Polk Arts and Culture Alliance, and I think I said the school board twice. We had, I don't know if I missed this, I think I did, we had a 16% increase in social media followers, 227 all-call art submissions, so those are people submitting to be on display with us. That's after only 2 shows. I will tell you 2026 has already blown that out of the water, but that is some incredible numbers, and nearly 800 tour participants. We also, when you do the calculator from American for the Arts Economic Prosperity Calculator, we present 89,888 projected economic impact. Now that's indirect, that's people filling up their gas tanks, that's jobs that are impacted, that's stores that we shop at. But when you invest in arts and culture, there is indirect economic impact to the community, which I think Mulberry has always appreciated. We get 95% increase on social media as well. I know I'm going fast, but I know it's a lot. That's a very big night. So we did have 8 exhibits. I'm not going to read through all of them. They were fantastic, and if you flip through the book, you see what we talk about, that we transform the space every time. We work hand in hand with artists to make sure that they're comfortable with us. We help them craft their narrative. We make sure that we are representing them professionally and on par with anywhere else that you might be seeing art. I did want to bring your attention to a new tradition that we have this year, which is in the making, kind of early on in your booklet. In the Making 2025 is where we partner with the high school for the AP Art students to have their own exhibit. So we do have Marian Bright at the end of the year for all students, but this one are the ones who are receiving college credit, and they are required to be there, and they'll have to answer questions, and they get to hear feedback, and sometimes they'll even sell pieces and start what it means to be a professional artist, and that we should celebrate them, but also support them in every way we can. Skipping on, so you're going to see all those exhibits. They are amazing, they are beautiful. I'm very proud of each and every one of them. You'll see how the walls look different, but bringing your attention to our returning programs with Art Around the World, Art History for Kids, Winter Break and Seasonal Crafternoons, Thrift Store Thrills, which is a Halloween upcycling program, Spring Break Creations, Mini Mozarts, which focuses on young learners with music and tactile discovery, Summer Swatches, but we have some new programs for me to highlight. Watercolor Wednesdays, which is a free summer program in 2025 for kids that focus on the basics of watercolor techniques, and each session gave young artists the chance to practice skills such as blending, layering, and brush control. Florida Flair was another summer program that highlighted Meanwhile in Florida, which was an exhibit that we did. Paint-along series that focus on different subjects like manatees and flamingos that you find in Florida, which taught artistic skills but also an appreciation for our beautiful state. Seasonal painting parties is something we started last year, where we have grab-and-go projects like paint by numbers or some craft kits that you could grab and make at home if you were looking for something to do at Halloween or Christmas or Easter. but also that you could come and create them with us with some snacks and fellowship and having a good time. And then we also started watercolor workshops, which focuses on popular watercolor technique manuals. This is for adults, where a workbook is selected for 3 monthly sessions to explore the tips and tricks written in the workbook. And those are our programs at the Cultural Center, but we do also have increased numbers of paint-alongs. We've partnered with some contracted artists so we can do more, because obviously our staff can only literally be in so many places at once. So being able to bring in some fresh perspectives has been really great. 800 tour participants, and each one of those tours is a hands-on activity that is complementing what's on display, and that changes every every 6 weeks. So Lauren, who you properly gave an award today, is in charge of that, and she does a brilliant job of seeing what the art is and quickly coming up with something and engaging with various audience ages when they come and visit us. So I'm very grateful to her and all of the programs that she puts together for us. Gym Theater, let's move on. So the mission of the Gym Theater is to enrich, educate, and entertain the community of Mulberry and its guests through quality cultural and artistic events and productions. We create an ongoing schedule of film and performing arts programs available to the public that entertain a diverse audience. We want to be valued as a culturally significant asset locally and regionally, and to serve as a catalyst for growth in the downtown Mulberry area and its surrounding communities. Let's take a look at our audience snapshot. So I broke down the first one that you're seeing, the by the numbers audience snapshot. Each individual customer was only entered one time. So Lakeland outpaces Mulberry just by a little bit. I think it's 37% to Mulberry's 30%. But I will say, when you look at our social media audience, Mulberry is higher because the return customers are very much more Mulberry than Lakeland. But you can see that we are not only attracting around us, we are serving our community, but also going quite a bit outside of it, including outside of Polk County and even outside the state, coming to the Gym Theater, which is great for us. We also had a social media audience increase of 11% and 5% increase of our text club, which is where if you sign up, you get first announcement of all of our tickets, and those go pretty quickly. Rentals stayed about the same. We had just a few more, 3% increase from 2024. We partner with our other departments within the city to make sure, like the library has a film club, and that our employee film days are there, and our training sessions are often at the gym. We also built an extension in partnership with Missing Piece, which means that the stage is now a little bit wider, but it is temporary, so if we want to go back and have more floor space, we can, but I have not had a renter yet who wants that. They want the additional floor plan, and it also makes our productions, I think, larger and better, as well as being able to attract bigger bands. Bigger in this case is better, so we're very grateful to have that. Alrighty, gym happenings. I mentioned all of that. We had film screenings. You have a list of them. Again, we want to keep things as economically attractive as possible, so our tickets are $2 to $5 for almost all of our films. We have special event screenings, including Moana 2, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and The Grinch, where there's crafts and snacks, and we partner with other facilities to make that happen. So it's more like a party with also a movie. And moving along, we were chosen as Polk Arts and Cultural's annual meeting in 2025, which is a really big deal. That means out of all of the county, we were the site to show off, and that they felt was important for people to know about. I was really proud of that. We had so much positive interaction. That means from Frostproof, Dundee, Winter Haven, people coming over here to see what Mulberry was all about. And I will promise, they also all went to Depot after, which was another bonus. But seeing what's going on in downtown was really inspiring to everyone I talked to, although it would be weird if they told me otherwise. Dwight Eisenhower returned for 2 wonderful performances last year, including the first time we've ever had him for a gospel Christmas. He was one of the ones who was excited that the stage was so much bigger, because he had commented that he wished it was, and so it was. We made it larger. Our dinner and movies at the gym continue to be sold out. We have a list of what we did in 2025, and by sold out, within 48 hours, they're gone. So you need to be a part of our text club if you want to be a part of that. We love theming it. I cannot believe how talented my staff is at making that night more memorable than other bigger cities do. If you've never been to one, I highly encourage it. Celebrity meet and greets. C. Thomas Howell came from The Outsiders. That was a really big deal. Lots of far-reaching excitement for him, and he was really wonderful and humble. He had recently been in Yellowstone's 1883. He is still very much a working actor, and it was wonderful to host him in Mulberry. And then very cool, we had Keith Coogan return, but this was for the students at Mulberry High School that are interested in going into the performing arts to talk. And they saw a screening of a 90s movie that blew them away because people smoked in it. How crazy. But that to answer what it's like to be a child actor, because he was too, but also how would you switch from youth into adult going into that field and the pros and cons. And he was really lovely and fun to work with. We also believe in giving back to the community with Take a Bite Out of Hunger. When the Mulberry Community Service Center called for action, we were happy to show 2 films that instead of paying, you brought food items and were able to enjoy Jaws and The Edge. Take a bite out of hunger. We get it. We see what we did there. We also are proud of our community partnerships, like with Evelyn Bryan Festival, that will have free screenings that complement Prehistoricon. I forgot what, the chili cook-off. And of course, we host our tree lighting and cookie stroll in the gym theater. I cannot be more proud of the partnership that we have established with the Missing Piece. I know when we first opened the gym theater, we wanted live plays as soon as possible, which is a tall order, but through working with them and establishing what Mulberry wanted and what their talents were, we were able to come up with another great season featuring the complete works of William Shakespeare, abridged, revised again, Anything Goes, Finding Nemo Jr., and the classic Our Town. I think all the conversations I have with other theater groups, they are maybe not only impressed, but maybe a little jealous of what we put on, if I can be so bold to say. So it is very fun to get to brag about them. They were nominated for 68 Monty Awards, which features Brandon, Plant City, Mulberry, South Lakeland. 68 is a huge number of nominations for their season. So again, Mulberry should be very proud of what we've been able to attract in that partnership. Thank you. City events, we're not done. All right, so this is a little different, but the City of Mulberry strives to serve its population with engaging events to enhance the quality of life for residents and foster a unique reputation of hospitality and connection. And boy, do I think that we do that. So I know that I hope that you are familiar with our events that we do. I will hit the highlights as we go through. So Founders Day last year, we recognized the wonderful Mulberry Public Library for its 75 years of service, justly deserving. And then the next day, we had Founders Day that spread in front of the library and the field. We also unveiled the Literary Liftoff mural, which my department was happy to do for them to have a selfie wall, as I guess they're called, in 75 years from them. A giant highlight is, of course, this was the first year that we did the Mulberry Chili Cook-Off and Car Show. It was the second place in Pigapalooza without losing what we loved about Pigapalooza, but how could we do it for less money, which we absolutely did, and still attract maybe even more participation and through everyone, and I mean everyone in the city working incredibly hard. We were able to give $15,000 away to local nonprofits. We had 20, I believe, participants. 80 cars came, and this was the same time as another car show because I messed up and didn't think about that. And we still did so well that I am blown away by what everyone by jumping in could do. We were recognized as a top 5 event in Polk County by the Ledger and the 3rd best event in Polk County for that one in LKLD magazine. So yeah, we did well. And of course we had the Easter Egg Extravaganza, Prehistoricon, which is a partnership with BartoCon LLC. We did not do it this year, but we are looking to bring that back when it fits into the calendar. And they gave us $750 for their support. Senior Send-Off, I believe, is a lovely tradition. We had 200 students in 2025 participate, where we say congratulations to the class of what was 2025. Thank you, commissioners, for serving hot dogs and hamburgers and making that a special moment for all of our graduating class. Pool counts, you have the whole write-up, and thank you to Christy who composed this for me, but you can see the numbers from the pool in 2025. We're open for 2 months, roughly 8 weeks. And we had 2,059 total attendees. 86% are in-city residents. It's a pretty high percentage that it is being used by our residents, at least in 2025. 86%. If you live outside of the city limits, it is $5, and that gave us $1,200. So you have a breakdown also of bad weathers and when we had holidays, so if you want to take a look at that on your own, I do suggest it. The Civic Center, which my team also oversees, had 53 rentals in 2025, not including elections or interdepartmental rentals, which was an 8% increase. For the Hispanic Heritage Festival, we had Zumba added this year, which was a really nice way to make the morning start. With 46 local vendors participating, and in the particular political climate that was around that time, I'm very impressed with 46 vendors, and it's a really lovely celebration that we continue to want to expand and do the best we can by supporting all of our neighbors. Harvest Festival had 18% increase in vendors in 2025. I have to say, for many of our large events, we're at capacity for vendors. I don't think there'll be continued growth because we just can't fit anymore where we're at, which is a nice problem to have unless you give an annual report and you want an increase in everything. So when I come back in 2026 and it's nominal, that's why we're just at capacity. Trunk or Treat, which Catherine's team is so helpful in taking over the organization of that. I'm blown away by the creativity. I'm not blown away. I know we're creative here. It's expected now, but we really do set the bar high for Trunk or Treat trunks. The Christmas tree lighting and cookie stroll is downtown. We had 18 stops for cookies in 2025. It's a lot of cookies. It's a lot of cookies. If you are hungry for some sweets, please make sure that you check that out. We also, thanks to Jason and his team, were able to light up the park a little bit more this year, which I thought was a really good addition. And as with all of our events, we just want them to get better and better, and I'm happy to say I think we do. Our Christmas parade, we had the wonderful Mulberry Press as our grand marshal this year, with lots of wonderful entries. The theme was all creatures great and small. I had a lot of fun seeing how that was interpreted. Thank you to the Mulberry Chamber for being our judges so I don't get yelled at. And of course the Christmas Village compliments after with more than 50 vendors this year. Like I said, that's about what the park can hold. And the Christmas Lights Contest is a lovely tradition that we do where we award first, second, and third places and people's choice via social media. That is not it. I wanted to give a shout out because the reason it all happens is my team. I will get choked up talking about them. Three of our wonderful people on this panel right now have gone on to awesome opportunities out of state. One is continuing her education. I get to be up here and talk to you about all the wonderful things we do and get the applause and hear all the things, but it's really them that do it. When I talk to them, one of the things that I hear is that I don't know if people know how much we do, and I feel like that's my job to make sure that you do because they are doing it all. Thank you for awarding Lauren tonight. There are many who, everyone pitches in and brings something unique. We have 2 new members now that are killing it in 2026, and I could not be more proud of them. Are there any questions? All right. Thank you so much. Oh wait, there's more. So the chamber is dark in July, so there isn't a formal report, but I would like to invite you all to August 19th's breakfast at the Civic Center. So mark your calendars for that and more fun things coming in the fall. Thank you all so much.
And on our new business, I'm going to turn it over to our esteemed lawyer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess we have the first item is resolution number Res 2026-13, which I'll read by title if you'll allow. Resolution number Res 2026-13, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Mulberry, Florida, relating to the 2026-2027 fiscal year millage levy, providing for a proposed millage rate pursuant to sections 200.0652A and 200.0652B Florida statutes, setting the date, time, and place of a public hearing to consider the proposed millage rate and the tentative budget for fiscal year 2026-2027, authorizing the transmittal of required information to the Polk County Property Appraiser, providing for an effective date. Thank you very much.
So what do we need to do here, Walter?
Is the city manager going to present?
Oh, when the hearings are going to be?
Well, yeah.
No, I have
You-
the
oh, okay.
guidance
Okay.
John Watson, finance director, Jeff Davis, for the first meeting in September.
September 9th.
So the first meeting, first tentative hearing for the budget will be on September 9th. It's a
Commissioner?
So, we did have a roll-up again this year, which means that the CRA took a little bit more of the tax money away from the city side of the operations. But by the millage rate, the rollback rate is so high, it's higher this year. So compared to last year, the percentage decrease is about the same, it's about 4.5%.
So 6.39 is the same as it was.
Yes, that didn't change.
What's your pleasure, Commissioner? Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Devine. Is there anybody in the audience wishes to speak to this? Seeing none, we're gonna vote. Commissioner Smith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Devine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Parsati, how do you vote?
Yes.
It is unanimous, so it passes. Thank you. And then, Mr. Carter, we'll go to our first ordinance, 2026-04, second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number 2026-04, an ordinance of the City of Mulberry, Florida, amending the future land use map of the comprehensive plan of the City of Mulberry, Florida, specifically amending one parcel of land comprising plus or minus 5.06 acres, generally located on the north side of Industrial Park Road, west of Prairie Mine Road, physical address being 1935 Industrial Park Road, Mulberry, Florida, 33860, from the future land use of city unassigned to city industrial, transmitting said amendment to Florida Commerce for notification, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. Thank you. This is here on your second reading. You've already considered it and passed it on first reading, I presume.
That is that land that's next to the huge,
We also have someone here from Central Florida Regional Planning. If you have questions.
Any questions, Commissioner?
Good evening. For the record, Marissa Barbie with the Central Florida Regional Planning Council.
Thank you for being here.
I'm sorry?
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. So tonight, we are looking at an applicant-initiated request for a future land use map amendment and a zoning amendment. My presentation is addressing both ordinances. As stated in the reading of the title, the site is 5.06 acres in size. The applicant is requesting this because the property is annexed into the city, and they would like to have a city future land use and zoning assigned to the property that supports the continued industrial use of the property. The image on the left is your current future land use map, which the site currently has a county industrial future land use. It's what it was when it was in the county. With the, and then the current zoning is on the right. Again, the site has a industrial on it. You can see the properties surrounding it all have an industrial use, future land use and zoning assigned to them as well. If you vote for these two ordinances, this is what your future land use and zoning maps will be changed to look like. The sites or the requests for the future land use and zoning change are both consistent with the former county industrial designations that were on this property. It does support the continued use of the site as an industrial use. It is concurrent with infrastructure availability to the site. It also is compatible with the surrounding uses, which are also industrial in nature. And there are no anticipated adverse impacts on public facilities and services, as this site is already developed and has an industrial use on it with services. So your motion options are here. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Just for people in the audience, as I recall, some of that was never even zoned, was it?
Yes, neither of that property does not have a future land use or zoning.
At all?
Yeah.
And it's out in the industrial park, okay?
Yeah.
So, what's your pleasure, Commissioner?
City attorney question.
Okay. Let her ask.
If our
Anybody in the audience wishes to speak to us? Now is your time. Come on up here, Sean. You gotta come to the podium. So it's on the record. Name and address and all that stuff.
Sean Atkins, Northeast 9th Street, 309. I've used them as a subcontractor, and I think they're a good addition to the city. They run a good, clean facility. The question I would have, is this second building already built, or are they gonna wanna build a building, or they want to go across the street, is that correct?
The site that is, these two go to is already developed.
Okay. I would just need you to say, I think they're a good addition to the city.
Thank you. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed.
Ready for me to read?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number 2026-05. An ordinance of the city of Mulberry, Florida, amending the official zoning map of the city of Mulberry, Florida, specifically amending one parcel of land comprising plus or minus 5.06 acres, generally located on the north side of Industrial Park Road, west of Prairie Vine Road, physical address being 1935 Industrial Park Road, Mulberry, Florida, 33860, from the zoning of city unassigned to city I-H, heavy industrial, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. And as Ms. Barnaby from the Central Florida Regional Planning Council has previously noted in her presentation under ordinance 2026-04, this is a companion ordinance dealing with zoning for the very same property that you've just approved for future land use. And per Ms. Barnaby's presentation, the zoning is consistent with the future land use that has just been assigned, compatible with the adjoining property owners, and is recommended for approval.
I'll make that motion. Mr. Devine, go ahead, second.
Second.
Also, motion made by Commissioner Devine, seconded by Commissioner McDonald. It's aggravating to me that you gotta do two ordinances to get this done. I know you do, so. Enough said. Again, I have to ask if there's anybody in the audience that wishes to speak to this. It's kind of, because we've already approved the first one, but are we ready to vote, Commissioners? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, it's passed. Now, before we go to the next one, Roger, you want to speak to this first?
Yes, presentation.
Mr. Mayor, if you'd like for me, I'll read the title to the resolution.
Okay, and please explain how you want the motion
Certainly.
done.
This is agenda item 9.4, resolution number Res 2026-12. A resolution of the city of Mulberry, Florida relating to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, FDEP, State Revolving Fund, SRF, adoption of the water facility plan for the implementation of water main valve and meter improvements, effective this date. And this is a resolution that is prepared and addresses the city's City Commission's consideration of adoption of a water facilities plan, which has been developed by Mr. Homan, who is here with us tonight, a professional engineer with the employee of Pinoni Associates, who are the city's contractors. And it is a 222-page, very comprehensive report that is necessary and it is required by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection SRF program, I believe associated with our drinking water loan 531220.
Yes.
And so when the motion is made by a commissioner, assuming that we do make the motion, if we hear from Mr. Homan and the public, I would ask that you, in the motion, expressly include approval of the motion and the facilities plan, the water facilities plan, water main and meter improvements that is attached, so that the minutes reflect that the approval is both the resolution and the facilities plan. So when we transmit this on to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, State Revolving Loan Program, they can clearly see that the commission has approved the plan as well.
Correct.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I'm going to do a presentation. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Just some background on this. In simple terms, were contracted to do a study to determine substandard water mains and valves, really throughout the city, the entire service area of the city. There's a current grant loan from FDPSRF, it's a 50/50 grant loan for $75,000 to perform this study. After this, there's gonna be 2 more phases to move forward with. There's a design phase to actually design the projects, and then there'll be a construction phase. Those will be funded separately per the rules of the SRF. So, facilities plan overview, what this needs to say, and this again is per the FDEP requirements. It's a requirement for the funding, it establishes a need for the project, alternatives analysis, and we have to provide 3 alternatives that are in plan, and just show to FDEP and then pick one of those. Description of the selected alternative, environmental review, it's a business plan, it's a separate document that your CPA, Mike Rengelson, actually prepared. That shows the city's available funds to pay for the project. And then the public hearing, which is what we're doing tonight. Background, water main and meter improvements. Again, it's to find what areas of the city have undersized, aged, or asbestos cement pipes that need to be replaced. New valves to improve pressurization, and then new smart water meters to have remote capabilities. The meter portion of the project, that actually came a little bit later. Janie came to us, Jason. The city has a need to replace the meters, and they came to us, and we went ahead and added that to the scope of this, and included an alternatives analysis in this facilities plan, which will in turn give the city the ability to fund those water meter improvements through the SRF if you choose to. There's a funding, it's kind of a breakdown of the funding. Again, the planning was $75,000, the design is going to be projected to be about $440,000, and then the grant loan is $5,885,000. Planning area, again, this is the entire city water service area that was studied. This figure is a key map. It's kind of hard to see there, but we broke it into several different areas that we mapped in more detail. And what you're seeing there is all of the water mains and valves that we recommend improving. The way we came to those, the conclusions that those mains and valves need to be improved were a combination of a bunch of things. We reviewed the city's GIS information, which includes diameters and the types of pipes that are there, the materials of the pipes. We performed hydraulic modeling using WaterCAD software in the entire city to determine where there's pressure deficiencies, fire flow deficiencies. And then we, very important, interviewed city staff, Jason, John Wright, before John was still here, to determine just kind of the local knowledge of problem areas of the city where there's water mains that experience frequent breaks, or maybe it's known that the pipes have percolation in them, or there's reduced flow in pipes. And then we also looked at a previous master plan that we had done actually 20 years ago to see if there's anything in there to look at. I'll go through these quickly. These figures are just, again, zoom-ins of the areas where we found deficient pipes and valves. Here's a list, and these are all in the actual facilities plan, but this list includes each of the projects, those project areas, and the reason why those pipes are deficient. And some of the reasons are, there's a lot of small diameter 2-inch pipe that goes through the city. DEP rules, if you're to put in new pipes, you have to have 6-inch minimum pipe. So we identified anything that has a 6-inch pipe or a 2-inch pipe or smaller than 6, or some 4s also, to be deficient, that really would require replacement. There's a lot of cast iron pipes, galvanized steel pipes, which are just substandard materials. Again, percolation areas where there's known to be low pressures because of that. Summary of it all, this is doesn't show up here. There it is. Summary, it's about 39 that why the city water meter covers were all painted blue? Not sure about that. No answer to that. I don't think so, not part of this project.
There was something going on, but that's okay, sorry.
So real quickly, the alternatives analysis. Again, we have to provide 3 alternatives for this plan. Really, the alternative 1 is no action, we can say that. Alternative 2 is to replace water mains using horizontal directional bores, which is really a less intrusive way to do the work. It's to do bores underneath the ground where there doesn't have to be any restoration of roads along the way. And then there's the third alternative is to use more traditional open cut pipe installation.
I assume we're looking at number 2.
Number 2 is a maybe this way. Water meter improvements, there's, again, had to provide 3 alternatives. No actions, number 1. Number 2 is to replace with AMI network meters. And what this is using a radio system to connect all the meters. And what the project will do is allow City Hall to read all the meters remotely from here, from the City Hall. I won't have to go out and drive around even to them. There's usually a few that you don't get read every month. You'll pick those up and have to go out and read them, but by and large, it's a pretty good system. Alternative 3 is just kind of the same thing, but using a cellular network. It's, let's see the next slide, it has a higher cost, so that one wasn't selected. This is back to the water main. This just shows that kind of we had to do a present work lifestyle cost, life cycle cost of the 2 alternatives. The directional bore method is less expensive, 5.3 million, or 9.1 million. The capital cost, 5.3 million present work, which compared to alternative 3, which is 10.4 million, 5.7 million for present work cost. Meters, same thing, 2 alternatives. The second alternative is shown to be the more cost-effective way to do it. And this is just showing the selected alternatives we just talked about. Environmental review is required, and it's kind of a big part of this facilities plan, but in this case, it's really not, because all of these improvements have to be done in existing right-of-ways, so there really wasn't much environmental review. It's a step that has to be taken for the rules, but not really much of an issue. Slides messed up, looks like. This is talking about the business plan. Again, this is prepared mostly by Mike Richardson, the city CPA. It's a financial plan for the project. Again, it's an ability to pay loan analysis of what that shows. The city has funds to pay the loan portion of it. What's happening with the slides here, but anyway, this shows so another part of this is the overall cost, you notice, was actually higher. It's up in the 10 million range to do all of the mains. But what we're proposing to do is only just submit for like a first phase. Once you get this facilities plan approved, you'll be approved to do future phases. But to bite off all of those in one phase is probably not advantageous, because the SRF has a kind of a grant cap that they have whenever they give out the money, especially for construction. And that's usually somewhere in the maybe $4 to $5 million range. We won't know that exactly when we get to the construction phase of it, but doing it this way enables you to have everything approved in the planning phase to move forward with design. You don't have to do all the design, we can pick a smaller part of the design to do that. And then whenever it gets to construction, we'll be able to kind of tailor the size of the project and the scope to maximize the grant dollars that are going to be available. So next steps, we'll submit this facilities plan, which we actually already have. We have to submit the record of this public hearing, public meeting tonight. In August, there'll be a approval of the facilities plan, and it'll also be listed on the priority list, which is basically the fundable list, the FDP, and that's for the design funding, the second phase. Somewhere around November, the actual grant and loan agreement for design will be under the city for approval. By next summer, the plan will be to have all the plans, specifications and permits submitted to DEP, prepared for the August 2027 requirement of the FEPSRF to show what their water bills are. It has to do with, basically their look at that your water bills are high enough to support the project, that you're after charging enough to afford the project.
And these are accurate? This came from, you
I
got this from
think
City
it
Hall?
is. Yeah, it should.
It is?
Well, it was down, it was
Where'd you
gotten
get it
about
from?
2 months ago when we put this together. It was accurate as of then.
I mean, you're submitting this report under your professional engineering certification
Yes.
to our city commission.
Yeah.
And they're asking that they adopt it by resolution, so
Yeah.
I think what Commissioner McDonald's mind to assure is that the information contained in the report was reviewed and is
Yes.
accurate as of the
It is.
time that you were submitted.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, as long as it hasn't changed since about 2 months ago, then I think it has. The bill is what it's about.
All right, commissioners, let's do the motion first, but if you make the motion, do it as per, Mr. Murphy's request to include where it says for the water main valve and meter improvements also. What's your pleasure, Commissioner?
And the motion includes, so the minutes are clear, approval of resolution 2026-12 and the facilities plan for water main valve and meter improvements, which Mr. Roger Holman, PD, just presented.
Is that correct, Coach?
Yes.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's made by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Harrison.
I do want to thank you for this report. I read through it last night. I won't see straight for another week or so. And when I came across the bills for a minute, I thought I was reading something I wasn't supposed to. It's like, wait a minute, what they said.
It was over a year effort. Well,
No,
work. Yeah.
Roger, we want to thank you and Panoni for all the hard work they did on this. This was a lot of work, I know. Anyway, the motion's on the floor. Is there anybody from the audience that wishes to speak to this? I know it's a lot. And like you said, he's been working over a year on this. I remember seeing some of y'all's trucks running through the city. With the young ladies that have helped you and stuff. But, yeah,
That's today, I think.
yeah. So, anyway, are we ready to vote, commissioners?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do a roll call vote. Mr. Smith, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Devine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Marsati, how do you vote?
Yes.
And it passes unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, thank you for all your hard work. Whoever else helped you,
Lots of people. Yeah.
I'm sure. All right.
We have actually two donation requests on the agenda tonight. The first one is Mulberry softball 16U, and I believe that they are
I think they are.
to talk to the commission and explain to them the reason for the request and what it is intended for.
Who's your spokesperson? Coming up.
My name is Mike Sanborn. I'm president for Mulberry baseball and softball. Also a coach for the Mulberry Chaos 16-year softball. This year we went to districts, we won districts. We left there, we went to states up in Lake City. We went undefeated in Lake City to win the state championship. So now we have the opportunity to go to Florence, Alabama to play in the World Series. So we're gonna play teams from different countries, we're gonna play Australia, Mexico, Puerto Rico, there's a couple teams from Florida that are going as well. We set a goal of $15,000 to try to raise for these girls to go up there. It's expensive, we you just paid to stay in Lake City for a week, so then we've got to go stay here for 9 days. So we have raised right under $14,000. So we're just asking for anything that we can get to help get these girls there.
Well, I've brought this up in the past when companies, well, not companies, organizations, nonprofit organizations come to ask of commissioner discretionary funds, that we cap it at $500 because that allows us as a commission to give more to more nonprofit organizations. I say all that to say this, I'll make a motion for 500.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. It passed. Wish you ladies well.
Thank you.
And then we have putting on the pink coming up.
Sheriff Thrush, I am the founder of Putting on the Pink. I was here last year. A lot of familiar faces. Last year, our theme was 10, 10, 10, 100. This is our 11th year this year raising funds for the breast cancer patients at Hollis Cancer Center. The money does not go to Hollis Cancer Center or to research. It goes to financially assist the patients going through chemo, going through surgeries to help them. I want to thank you all for last year for your donation and say that we not only reached our 100,000, we ended up donating our total donations $125,000. So this is hard. Somebody can attest to that. So at this point, all we ask is whatever we can have to help raise more money for our breast cancer patients, and we will be having our annual event October 9th, as we did last year. And we're gonna have it at the Winter Haven Moose because they are donating the space to us, which helps us immensely, so we don't have that cost. Thank you. Any questions?
That same motion for 500.
Okay. Who seconded?
Yeah.
I can tell this morning. Motion's made for $500 by Commissioner Devine, seconded by Commissioner McDonald. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's passed. Catherine, you want to bring me the signing sheet, please? And I'll tell y'all, people get up and leave all the time. Y'all don't want to stay any longer, you're welcome to get up and leave. I mean, you're welcome to stay and listen to the rest of the meeting. I understand when people get up and leave. All right, I've got Louis Rios.
Thank you all, thanks much.
Sorry.
Name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Luis Rios, 4838 South Dashley Boulevard. Thank you, Dawn, for inviting me. I'm the new principal at Purcell Elementary. So I wanted to come and introduce myself. I'm very excited to be part of the Mulberry community. I'm excited to continue on with the partnerships we saw in the presentation today, but also expand on new partnerships or even rebuild any old partnerships with the city. So anything that our school can do for the community, please let us know. I truly believe in the word partnership being a dual role where it's not just the school asking for things or receiving things, but also having we also impact and help the community, whether it's our staff or our students. So we are right down the road, and I am excited to continue to meet anybody. So please feel free to reach out, and there will be an event later this July to meet the new principal. So you guys are all invited and welcome. You guys can check our Facebook page for further details. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I tried to catch you at Mulberry Jams the last time, but somebody had my ear and I couldn't leave.
Yes.
And then when I got free, I couldn't find you, so I meant to come introduce myself to you.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I was there, and then I went to Depot to eat, so.
I will tell you, Neil works for the school board, and Coach Smith and I used to work for the school board. He was a teacher at the high school, and I was the principal up here.
At Mulberry High, right?
Yeah, retired, no way. And when did you retire, Coach? Oh, 3, okay. But we're educators at heart.
I love that. I look forward to continuing to get to know you better.
In the big city.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome to Mulberry.
Thank you, guys. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Darrell Bailey, 1511 Heartland Circle in Mulberry. And I write my stuff down just to keep me on track. That's the pastor. If I don't, we'll be here all night. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the difference between an agitator and an advocate, because I do think it's important for every community to understand. We've had agitators in Mulberry. As a matter of fact, back in 2008, there was a gentleman by the name of John Green that was arrested. He owned a business, and Coach Smith, you're laughing because you know the story. Yes. He was actually banned in the 10th Judicial Circuit. He cannot live, own a business, or even travel through unless he's staying on Highway 60 or 37. He cannot stop in those 3 counties.
Wow.
That's an agitator. Its goal is often to create conflict. If there's peace, they look for a fight. If there's disagreement, they want to make it bigger. They often care more about winning an argument than solving a problem. We have an agitator as well. It's not me, hopefully. We also have advocates. At the same time, we have had an advocate in Betty Lou Turner. A lot of you guys remember her. And we also have women concerned citizens, and as well as Ms. Taylor. So we have advocates. Advocates don't always agree. They may ask hard questions. They may disagree with elected officials. They may challenge a proposal, but their purpose is not to create division. It is to improve the outcome. An advocate is willing to listen as much as they speak. They recognize that no one person has all the answers, and they understand that good ideas can come from any seat in the room. Also, as the commission continues making decisions that affect the future of the city, more advocates are going to rise up, such as what you see in the the redistricting meetings. It goes against the common flow sometimes, and that's okay. But an advocate wants to move the city forward in fairness. So my first question as an advocate is this, and it's not going to be a hard question. We needed the funding, and today the first step was taken with this water proposal to fix the water issues in the city. The agitator should have been here so he knows that the city is serious about fixing the issues that we have. My question, which may be a harder question, is we know what happened with the city hall funding that we're having to re-explore. And that's great. We need grant money. We need the private partnerships. That should have been done. We know what happened with the fire extinguishers being locked for a long while. There's other things in the city that's been delayed. What practices are being put in place to ensure that we comply with the deadlines, the funding to move this water project forward, and it's not just a resolution being passed that ends up being forgot about. I trust the current administration better than the past administration. I trust you as commissioners. But if we don't bring it to the public light, then those questions for the agitators remain, and we don't want them to get a hold of that and cause the division. Thank you.
And then we're going to Alicia Felix. Come on back.
It's 2 of us. Hello, my name is Alicia Felix, 5035 Asbury Park Drive in Lakeland. I am a content creator. Specifically, I do a lot of food reviews in the Polk County area, so I've been able to go and give exposure to small companies or small businesses doing anything in the community. So I was able to go with Mrs. McDonald to Depot 303, which we really very much enjoyed our time. It was our first time there. I think you have something really good, something that can be integrated with schools and fundraisers, and a lot of potential to do a lot of community good. lot of marketing involved, and I really just wanted to say I love what you're doing here, and I was excited, and I'm glad to bring it to my social media. And as one person can reach thousands of people, which my social media has, you can find my pages on Benghazi the Foodie. That is my middle name. I'm African. So yeah, I just wanted to praise what you're doing here in the community, and I hope that everybody goes enjoy the food there. And yeah, thank you.
So, for clarification.
Yes.
You're an advocate, not an agitator,
I'm an
correct?
advocate.
Oh, man.
Good evening. Eric Greenhow, 905 South Drive, Polk City, Florida. And I'm here today to hopefully continue a conversation or come to a resolution for I'm developing what I hope is an asset to Mulberry. It will be an asset to Mulberry, a neighborhood, Victoria by the Lakes, which is just up here, Highway 37, just on the left side. I want it to be a beautiful community, and one way or another make it a beautiful community. It's starting out that way. There was an issue, I was here a month or two ago with the first couple houses that I started to build were approved by the city. Nothing was under the rug, it was approved. Ron Borgers was an awesome guy, retired, wish him well, hope he's doing well. But that change now brought up an issue where there were some setback problems with what is built on the ground now and what maybe was previously approved or the city wanted. So my neighborhood's at a halt. I'm not building now. I want to keep building. I'm ready to keep building. And I'm born and raised Polk County. I want this to be nice and again attractive and different. I don't want to build the same neighborhoods as Mulberry's full of. I want this to be different and nice. So I guess I'm asking, can I continue building for continuity in my neighborhood so that the neighborhood remains, a similar look as I have been, as was previously approved by the city, or must I build the new houses to a different setback, which is going to make the neighborhood look weird? I'm just telling you. And a smaller footprint, if I have to set back houses smaller, or set back houses further, it's going to be a smaller house, which from an impact fee revenue to the city. Smaller, cheaper houses are going to create less revenue to the city, less property tax revenue. And so there's organizations, this is not said tongue in cheek. You have organizations here, the nice young lady softball or the breast cancer, that are asking the city for money. The more revenue the city has, obviously, the more the city can benefit the community. And I'm just asking to keep building a wonderful, different, nicer, attractive community, not be handcuffed into smaller, cheaper homes. I want to be different and special, and again, something that the city can be proud of. So again, we talked about this, and some people were against me, or I felt, and others maybe for me, but there was no resolution. So I have emailed through the city website the different commissioners asking when can this get back on the agenda, and unfortunately a few attempts at emailing, I haven't heard anything from anybody. So I just decided to show up to see can we continue the conversation. I want to keep building, so where does that stand?
You want me to speak my piece?
Well, I was gonna ask, wait one second.
Sure. So I did speak to Drew back at the beginning of this month. He did provide us with a city-initiated rezoning ordinance that would serve as a global correction for this community, should both the planning board and city commission feel inclined to reduce the current development existing standards. He would not advise resolving this type of issue with any existing development using variances is what the last thing. I know we did project, Jen and myself, to bring this back to the commission the second meeting in August, because we're still waiting on getting some more feedback from, the fire department, safety staff, Central Florida, to hopefully gather more information before we present it again. We haven't forgot about it. It is on our calendar to bring it back up to the commission in August.
Thank you very much, honestly, I do appreciate it. Again, I'm building nicer houses than I should. I'm spending more money there than I should. I could build stucco, concrete driveway, I'm putting paver driveways, I'm putting hardy and stone, and the insides are beautiful. And the real estate market has slowed. I'm having to rent some of these houses, but fortunately I'm in a position to do that. Fortunately, I can rent them, it's okay, I'm pushing through. Plan A was to build them and sell them. If you're a real estate agent, you can agree the real estate market has slowed.
Some price points.
Okay. At this price point I'm at, it has slowed, but that's okay. I'm committed to it. And I'm gonna see through that it's nice to the fullest extent I can. I like to work with the city. And again, city revenue would be improved. Therefore, the benefits would be, to the city residents would be improved. The neighborhood would turn out nicer. I'm just, I'd like to keep going and make it an asset to the community. Me moving a house back 5 feet, you're not gonna be able to get another car in the driveway. So if there's people parking in the street now, one car could fit in the driveway or two side by side. If I move the house back 5 feet, I can't now get 4 cars in the driveway. There's not enough space, like only going back 5 feet to now get 4 cars. So there's still only gonna be 2 cars in the driveway. Someone's got 3 cars, there's 30 parking. Pushing the house back is not gonna resolve the vehicles on the road. So, I'm waiting on the city, I guess. Again, I wanna work with you. But in many facets, what I'm attempting to do here is beneficial for the community and the city. So I believe it is. That's why I'm making an effort to affect it.
Thank you. Do you have something to add to this, Commissioner McDonald?
Do you want me to? Or do you want me to wait?
I think you should wait.
Okay.
If we're to move forward with the ordinance.
Okay.
I think that would be a positive judicial proceeding, and I think everyone should have the opportunity to present information and then make a final decisions.
So we do have this on the agenda now.
I'll project and put it on the second, meeting in August.
Sounds good. Please let me know in advance. I would have been here since the last meeting. I would have been here sooner than now, but I was out of town, family obligations and such. So please do, as soon as it's on the agenda, please let me know. And I'll build it out, cheaper and smaller if that's what the city wants.
Thank you.
But trying to make it better. Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Ms. Schiller? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Can't read your writing.
So one more time?
Can't read your writing.
I know, I'm nervous.
Sorry, that's okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and everyone. My name is Sheila Utasi. As you can hear my accent, I am an Haitian descent, and I've been in the United States for a while. I graduated from university. I became a big part of this great country. And I'm a product of what the United States is in the sense of positivity. As a Haitian descent, at that college level, I'm serving not just my community as Haitian, I'm also serving our American community as a math instructor in college level. The reason why I'm here this evening is because I would like to introduce myself and express our commitment to ensure our Haitian community is actively engaged in Mulberry's civics and cultural life. Our goal is to serve as a bridge. Haitian is in town, it's a growing population. And if I'm here to serve as a bridge, collaborating with the City Hall, participating in local municipal planning, contributing to community programs and all other cultural programs. We want to ensure our voices support the city's growth with connecting residents. I look forward to work closely with the city leadership, connecting with initiatives like Mulberry Creative Coalition. And I thank you this evening to hear from me. And I will let you guys know that we're here in this town to be a part of it. I know my accent is not very clear, but if you have any questions for me, I can answer it.
I did not get your address for the record. Can you please provide it?
I'm using temporary address as 3390 Willie Oak.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And you communicate very well. And then I think this Michael was a softball guy, so he's already spoke, so that's all those. So we'll go to commission comments. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Nick.
So speaking to Mr. Greenhouse's comment, I didn't get an email. How many other commissioners received an email? So I guess we were misled that, or the Facebook land was misled that we received an email. So be it for the record, we did not receive an email.
That's probably good insofar as it's not an ex-parte communication. So there may be some disclosure requirements or communications outside of notice here. This is going to be something that the city will consider at the time. So
I
would keep opinions and what have you until such
Public?
time. No,
Okay.
until such time as this comes back before the commission. I don't want anyone to have perceived you all, and nor you, as prejudging or until you hear it. Doesn't mean you don't have an opinion, but I would encourage you to hold off and wait until you hear all the information, if there is going to be a presentation.
My next sentence was, I also believe this needed to be placed on the agenda for formal motion, and they're doing that the second meeting in August. So thank you. I'm now quoting. I actually just spoke to a city commissioner and really advised that would be a terrible mistake to alienate people of Willow Oak, Pine Lakes, Imperial Lakes, etc. I would like to know which commissioner advised against this. Referring to the person that was mentioned earlier by Mr. Bailey.
I didn't hear any names.
The person who makes things up.
Okay, so I
just wanna
guess
make it clear
for the record again, said agitator did not email or speak to a city commissioner about what I brought up at the last commission meeting. To be clear, I only quoted the city ordinance and asked staff to follow the ordinance regarding this matter. Okay, through the water, we're good there. Agitators, you gotta love them. I'm sure there'll be a video later about this, I'm sure. I know the intern city manager and directors look for the best candidate for any vacancy. On that note, city commissioners will soon begin the process of finding our next city manager. The best candidate for any vacancy. Let your mind wander with that if you all watch Facebook. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been attempting to plan a town hall with Joe G. Tedder, tax collector, Neil Covey, property appraiser, Tom Phillips, CEO of Citrus Connection, and Bill Beasley, county manager. Through advocating to educate our residents, I learned, and I'm quoting, the state has placed statutory restrictions on the use of public funds relating to such matters. Local governments can use public monies to produce factual information in order to educate citizens,
but in no way can use public monies to advocate or against any voter or referendum matter.
I actually, there's a statute on point.
Okay.
Section 106.113 of the Florida statutes, and it really prohibits the expenditure of public funds on any communication, even factual, that
Okay.
is directed to a voter by the public, or someone on behalf of the public.
Wow. Okay. And I'm just quoting what one of these gentlemen said to me. However, there is nothing in the statute that prohibit an elected official from addressing any forum about their personal opinions. Okay, so as long as we're on point, you know, just stop me if correct me if I need to be corrected. Also, there are no statutory prohibitions that would prevent a local government employee from speaking their feelings, provided they are not being compensated with public monies at the time they address any audience. Fine.
Not so sure about that. But
Okay.
anyway.
Finally, public employees or elected officials may distribute printed opinionated materials provided it's not paid for with public monies. This is, okay. So there's a bunch of other information that's, I mean, I want to do what's best for what we are foreseeing in the very near future with property tax reform.
And I think there are different standards for elected officials versus appointed or city employees. So there's different standards. The statute that is in play here is 106.113. It's part of the elections code. And it allows, expressly says that elected officials, like commissioners, the mayor, are permitted to give your opinion on any matter so long as you don't run afoul of the prohibitions on using public funds to prepare communications that are sent to voters. So you could have, and so my advice has been to the various government entities that I represent, that we represent, is that you can have town hall meetings. You may talk about things at a commission meeting. You may express verbal opinions on things that before you may provide information about what's happening in the city. You may provide information as to in response to questions. You may answer the questions. You may look at information that is pertinent to city functions and activities. But you've got to be really careful on the types of things that you do with public funds by way of communications, social media. You can't optimize social media websites, Facebook.
As an elected official,
it's a paid. There's a distinction between a personal Facebook page that we pay for, or is it funded by the city?
It's a personal city commission Facebook page.
So if you're paying for that on your own, there are different rules for that. And you have more flexibility there.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, you want to be careful with this, because if you're considered to have violated this, it is not only a fine potentially from the Division of Elections, but it's also a first degree misdemeanor of attempting to influence or do anything with regard to a ballot measure that is before the public. So we just have to be very careful as you walk down this road. As I've tried to say to the various public bodies that have asked these questions, there's not a lot of case law, if any, in deciding or that interprets these provisions. So you don't know if the road you're walking down is a 40-foot wide road, a 24-foot wide road, or an 80-foot wide road. But you got to walk down the road in the rails, and so you just have to be really careful of how you do that. Obviously, we attended a Florida Municipal Attorneys Association seminar July 8th, 9th, and 10th of this month, and we learned information about this issue, which I think that Drew and I are in the process of continuing to distill that information and try to provide more additional guidance if necessary. But is that something that has been brought up before in this commission?
I've just spoke to the city manager privately.
Okay, I didn't know if that had been brought up in the city commission, but that.
I'm just trying to outside the box differently think,
That's generally, you just have to be real careful. So you can communicate verbally, as long as there's not an expenditure of public funds for a communication that is designed, meant to is some guidance, just be very careful. I think if you're using non-city, your own personal, you may be fine to express your opinion on things, but I would be very careful. How do you get in front of that?
Okay.
And certainly, some communities, for example, the city of Auburndale last night had a special workshop to discuss this matter. The city of Winter Haven had one on July 2nd. You've all read Dundee had one, I think on July
Haines
16th.
City had
Haines
one
City had
last
one.
week or so, which
Last
prompted
week.
me to kind of
Yeah,
make
so-
this try to that.
Yeah, so there are ways that you can have these conversations, and probably you want to have these conversations with your fellow colleagues, but you can only do that in notice meetings.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is another attack on home rule, if you know what home rule is. The state is coming in and attacking government closest to the people. With all that being said, there's an important meeting notice. The county commission will be having a work session on August 14th to discuss in detail funds, programs, projects that would be affected should this referendum pass. And it's probably at 9 o'clock in the morning where I'll be at work. Well, actually, I'll be at the Florida League Cities Conference that day. So I'm just having those conversations privately with people in my network.
I have that listed either, if it can be shared of what it's paying and what it's not covering. What they are still keeping in with property tax and what would take away.
You know what the county is?
I might really see over it today.
I'd say which government?
Oh, just.
Polk County Board of County Commissioners?
No, just with the taxes. I thought you said you wanted the list of what it would still cover and what it wouldn't.
No, I want to educate our residents of what we risk losing as quality of life. Chelsea did an awesome job this afternoon presenting all of the stuff that the department she oversees covers. And I'm not going to vote for it to disappear because it's quality of life that we as a city have established, which makes Mulberry Mulberry. But when it's do or die, what are we going to do?
Well, and not to interject too much, but I think that as you engage in discussions on your budgeting and in your planning process, I think this commission probably is well advised to have conversations about what, assuming this goes forward, what are some additional revenue sources that can be achieved? What are, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. You could have a combination of things. You could have, what are the priorities to you here in the city of Mulberry? What are the priority things that you think are very important that you want to see? What are revenue sources that you haven't tapped into yet that you could potentially? Fire assessment comes to mind as a potential revenue source that I'm not certain that Mulberry wants. Fire assessment. I don't know that Mulberry would be eligible for that because you don't have fire service. So yeah, the contract. See, that's unfortunate. You don't have that. Other cities do. But I think you should be having those kind of conversations. And what is the impact fiscally? And I think the property appraiser and others have already published a list in the beginning of the month as to what is the impact going to be on the first tranche, year one, when it goes up to 150. What's the impact going to be when it goes up to 250? And then beyond that, it goes up based on an index, a cost of living index. So an inflationary index. So what is it going to be like in 2028, 29, 30, 31? I think ultimately you got to look at that and see where does that lead you. How many homesteaded properties do you have by parcel in the city of Mulberry? Well, that's all data and information that if I were in your position, I'd want to have.
And I believe, sorry, not to.
No, that's fine.
Mike Bernelson did do a whole presentation and gave them
Good.
numbers
He
and
did.
stats and everything like that. I want to say the projected for the first year loss in revenue was $660,000, and it went up to $770,000. Internally, myself and directors have
show it to the Department of Revenue. So I think that's probably, that is a good requirement, that's part of the law. That is already in place, so you know, you have to look at your fee structures. What are you charging, what's for your various things that are in place? Solid waste, where are other ways where you can raise revenue besides ad valorem? Stormwater fee, what it just requires a comprehensive review, I think, of your government, and how you are funding it. And I think notwithstanding whether the amendment passes or not, that's probably a good exercise, to go through, because it helps keep everyone apprised of the fiscal realities that, that are in life, public life.
No, you're good. I mean, we need to know what we need to do to plan for the perfect storm, which we're coming into. Bringing it back to home, as the government closest to the people is the best form of government. I said that earlier. I do post educational moments, and will begin posting small business spotlights and positive engagements on my public Facebook page. Last Wednesday and Saturday, we held a redistricting town hall. Not too many people were in attendance. I'd like to hear from our residents' opinions regarding this. We had that Wednesday and Saturday. Can we possibly be proactive and drop a survey in the water bills of their thoughts on redistricting?
We can add an additional page at no cost in our water bills like we did with the people's water, so that's not a problem. My only concern is
Explanation.
the explanation, who's gonna be receiving them, who's gonna keep tally, is that's gonna be an additional duty for a current employee, and some of us already do dual positions. We could do it if that's what the commission wants, we'll definitely.
It's hard for the six of us to reach out to 4,500 residents. I mean, I'm just putting this out there for discussion and maybe, how we can figure out what our residents want.
Wouldn't that be on the ballot? They could figure it out then. They could vote on it if they were very distant or not.
Well, it would only be on the ballot if the city commission.
Right, but what point? Okay, we had a legal opinion from our Drew and city attorneys. We had people speak, but it wasn't to everybody's liking. So do we need to call in a consultant to see if we're taking the right steps, or what do you want? What do you want that you didn't already
It's
receive?
not that it's to everyone's liking. We're all going to have different opinions, and there was a few people there to give us their opinions.
But
So we're basing our decision as a commission on the will of 5 or 6 people who are involved in city government.
so we have feedback, we have legal opinion. Isn't that enough for you to say, because you care about what the residents want, let's get it on the ballot and let them tell us what they want?
Well, let me clarify, just so we're clear on this from a legal standpoint. There are 2 tracks. The first issue that we discussed at the town hall when I was there on Saturday, and I understand on Wednesday as well, is that there is a law that was passed in 2023 that requires the districts that we have to be as proportional as possible.
Yes.
So we are in 2026. We have a requirement to make sure that our districts that are in place today are appropriate and legal. And in order to do that, you all have the ability as the commission, by ordinance, to redraw, redistrict, like the Florida legislature did, and like Congress may do. You have the ability to do that by ordinance. And to do that, my suggestion was that you hire a consultant that can The other tract was if you all, as a commission, want to make changes to your charter. Your charter right now has, I think it's 4 districts, and 2 at large, the mayor and the at large. If you want to change that, that's a charter amendment. Okay? If you want to go to all at large, do away with all the districts, or if you only want to have 3 districts, or if you only want to do 2 districts, or some variation thereof that's different than what's in the charter today, that requires an ordinance that is then presented in referendum to the voters.
But my thing
And so
is-
that needs to be done sooner rather than later, because you likely could get that before the voters in April of 27, because the supervisor of elections needs to provide her ability to open votes for that effort. And that would give you enough time then to have that decided by the voters.
And we have to pay a fee if we do that.
Well, that makes
versus
elections
all-
cost money.
No, for the map and everything, that's gonna be a fee.
Well, we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about the concept of whether or not you want to have changes to your charter. And a majority of you want to have a change to your charter to change the current configuration. And that's what needs to be decided relatively quickly, so as to allow for there to be enough time to draw an ordinance and get it on a ballot in time to make the April of 2027 election, because you don't have a regular election in April of 27. Correct. So that way you could use that for the charter amendment to present to the voters. Do they want to, and that's the issue. The other, if you don't want to do that, if the majority of the commission says, no, we're comfortable with what we got, we don't want to change our district configurations, we don't want to, in other words, we don't want to change the charter, but we know we need to change the districts so as to comply with the law, that's done by ordinance. And that was what requires, in my view, the hiring of a consultant. So the question that you have is, do you want to change the charter? Do you want to go to no districts, be all at large? Or do you want to go just to 2 districts? Or 3 districts? Do you want to make any change to your charter?
I wanna make a change.
And
As
that's
the
what,
residents
and
wanna
that's
make
what needs to be discussed, I think, amongst the commission, because it's the majority of the commission needs to make that call.
Well, on our last map, I just want to also let you, if everybody, the commissions didn't know, which Marissa, I spoke with her this week, and which is the CFRPC, created the commission district map based on markups provided by the city. Who had the credentials at that time that did that? What credentials did Ron have to make these districts? And that was his.
Our current now.
Yes.
Is it adopted now?
The one that's online.
I can't answer that, but I'm assuming that was a go by the city commission to do
But
that.
we don't even know
It's
if
back
that's
out,
in
and that was in
its
2020.
Well, let me just make sure I'm clear. I don't believe there's been any changes to the districts, that's the issue.
No, there's not, it's
That's
unbalanced.
the issue.
It's
Right,
unbalanced.
but
And
I'm
so,
saying,
there may have been, I don't know what happened previously.
I got an email and what happened.
Oh, okay, well then.
That's
what
exactly
happened?
what I said happened. Marissa, would you speak on that?
I mean, I don't think anything official happened.
No, and I don't do the mapping for our agency, but my best guess is in 2022, when the annexation, then the boundaries just expanded for those
Well,
annexations.
that's different.
Yes, no, absolutely. So we did, what my email to her said was, we did not create the boundaries, we were given a map, information, and we created the map from, yes. And when you go on the,
Yeah, that's, with all due respect, that's different than what we're talking about here. Well, we're talking about here, reconfiguring your districts.
Right, but I'm saying, were these districts even right the first time because the city provided the markups to the map consultant?
Well, but
Who did that
they weren't
work?
changing the districts, Don, they were adding in lands that were annexed.
And I was actually here.
And so that's different than
That's just they weren't changing the lines of the districts, I don't believe.
No, it
Well,
says it on the
let me
paper.
just interject and say this. I wasn't making this commission comments to have a discussion. That can be put on the agenda at a later date. Where we can take formal motion. If anyone has any questions regarding what the management fee and services are provided for the Depot 303, they can be found at joinerydevgroup.com. joinerydevgroup.com. Last thing, we're now in hurricane season. The City of Mulberry offers a service to City of Mulberry residents regarding emergency text alerts. You can text Mulberry to 866-382-3671. Emergency text alerts, Mulberry to 866-382-3671. And that's pretty much concluding my commission comments.
Commissioner McDonald?
Jamie, Miss Ayala, did you receive the email today about a resident? They had questions about their alley on North.
Yes, I forwarded that to
Okay.
Jason.
I got that email too.
Okay.
That is an email I got.
I just want to bring up the EAR one more time, because as I understood it, the evaluation and appraisal report.
Here.
Public.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay, so I spoke with Donna Harris in Tallahassee, and we were out of compliance since April, and to her, she just said, just send a letter, now we're gonna have changes, and then we have 1 year, so when is that?
Puerto Rican plans.
Okay, are you doing that letter?
Yes, we're always gonna coordinate with your staff to have it on your next agenda.
Okay. That's it. Oh, no, if you check your flood policy for the hurricane season, they're separate from your insurance policy. Make sure you have a flood policy.
Good advice.
Sound good?
Commissioner Marside?
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but, on that note, like I said, I'm just not feeling that, no big wins this year, so buckle down. And also, into that, this, Saturday, the Polk Animal Control is doing a hurricane preparedness for your pets. It's, research starts at 8:00. Get some information, get some ideas, they'll let you know which shelters are taking pets, so something to be prepared about. Can't leave your little critters at home, right? And other than that, congratulations to our city employees. It's Lauren Kelsey, right? I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it, our employees, our city workers are what really makes the city go. They help us operate, they keep it running. We're up here doing the talking and stuff, but we don't do what y'all do. And we appreciate every bit of it. Thank you.
Mr. Smith?
Well, I really don't have anything per se, but, I realized, yesterday, I missed a meeting Saturday and Friday, I guess.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We have a meeting on Friday. We have a meeting on Friday.
This Friday,
Yes,
what time? I'm not sure.
10.
I'm not sure. But at a doctor's appointment, and when I came home, I just didn't feel good. And I was gonna call the mayor, and I think I dozed off in my sleep and forgot it. So, I just want to apologize for not being there. So, we do have one Friday, 10 o'clock,
Here.
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 Yeah, okay. I plan to be here. That's all.
Mr. Ayers?
I don't have anything to say.
They're so verbose.
Well enough, but I have nothing to say.
I
I don't either. Other than to say, I think bingo's probably over by now.
8 o'clock, yep.
At the depot, and trivia is Thursday night at 6:30, come on down.
They're open until 9 o'clock though, if you wanna eat or grab a drink.
City manager.
Don't forget the trophy.
So I've received several emails and phone calls from Legacy Lakes owner. He's wanting to be put back on the agenda for commission to reconsider his request for reimbursement on his impact fees. He believes he has additional information that perhaps the commissioners need to review, and that may change your, original decision on not entertaining the reimbursement. And so I'm just letting the commission know that it was probably gonna be on the next agenda, the first agenda in August with whatever attachments it's going to send. So that's all.
Who you saying,
Legacy Lakes, RV.
oh, okay, I get that.
Or do you want to go there? City attorney,
Tonight, thank you.
city clerk,
Oh, I'm sorry, last, I'm so sorry.
go for it.
Second thing, we did give you a working draft of the annual budget for you guys to review and kind of look at it. We try to get it to you a few days ahead of time so that you can come up with your questions for Friday. Also, there is a draft job brochure for you guys to look at. You can get back to me by tomorrow. I'd say 3 o'clock, that way I can give Debbie updates and one of the approvals to go ahead and advertise.
I thought that deadline was last week.
This is the update.
This is the update.
Oh, okay,
And they corrected that one.
okay.
Hopefully this one doesn't have any corrections in it, hopefully.
I haven't checked the grammar. I don't think one picture needs to be better than Jen's either one. I mean, the long picture.
Commissioners, anything else for we adjourn? Once, twice, 3 times, folks. We are adjourned. Thanks for coming.